Afternoon, students. Good day. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. All of you have joined Google Classroom. Now there will be test classroom, so you have to join that app, join that class. Okay. Okay. Last day we discussed how digestion from the buccal cavity to stomach and intestine. And I will repeat that part. Further. Okay. So again I'm repeating some part that is your elementary canal. This figure you have to draw and you have to practice. This figure, this elementary canal figure is very important. You have to practice this figure. You have to draw this figure with labeling, with proper labeling. Okay. So I am coming. Food is coming from your mouth. In taking of food is called ingestion. You are taking your food. The food is coming from the mouth through the food pipe into the stomach. Food is coming from your mouth. In the mouth you have salivary glands. Salivary glands are helping breakdown of boiled starch, partially and make it into simple form. Next, starch means carbohydrate, breakdown of boiled starch partially and make it into simple form. And no protein and no fat digestion occur in the buccal cavity. No proteins and no fat digestion occurs in the buccal cavity. In the mouth you have teeth for chewing the food and you have tongue for mixing the saliva of the food. Okay, and swallowing the food, and the food is now coming to the food pipe. Through the food pipe, the muscles of the food pipe are pushing the food to come to the stomach. Stomach is the U-shaped structure, flattened U-shaped structure. It has muscle. It churn the food in the stomach walls are churning the food. Strong stomach wall in the stomach is churned. Okay, and in the stomach you can see the inner lining of the stomach has many cells. In many cells mucus is secreting. This mucus, what is the function of the mucus? It will protect the layer of the stomach, internal lining of. Next, hydrochloric acid from the stomach cell, internal of the stomach, hydrochloric acids are secreting. These are killing the germs of the food, and next it will give the medium, acidic medium. It will make the stomach full stomach medium, acidic medium. And next, the stomach secreting these type of digestive juices are breaking. These type of digestive juices are breaking the proteins partially. Okay, partially proteins are digested in the stomach with the acidic medium. Now from the stomach the food is coming 7.5 meter long tube, and in the intestine you can see the juices of liver, the juices of pancreas also mix. So in the liver bile salts are produced and it is stored in this figure, that is gallbladder, and bile is of fat, and from the pancreas fat, protein and carbohydrate digestive juice, carbohydrate for digestion of fat, carbohydrates. From the pancreas fats, proteins and carbohydrate digestive juices are in the intestine. So in the intestine bile is helpful for fat, bile juices are helping for fat digestion, and pancreas juices carbohydrate protein fat digestion, and inner wall of the intestine secreting some juices that are helpful for fat, protein and carbohydrate completely digestion. Okay, so in the intestine complete digestion occurs. Now after digestion what is happening? Now our today's topic, after digestion what is happening? So in the intestine you can see pancreas juice, liver juice, bile juice is coming, and intestinal juice is mixing with the food and complete digestion occurring here. Now I am coming here. Here complete all components of the food. The carbohydrates get broken into simple sugars. The carbohydrates, online. The carbohydrates get broken such as glucose and glycerol, fats into acids and glycerol, and proteins into amino acids. So from NCERT book PDF, I am reading from NCERT book PDF. Absorption in the digested food can now pass into the intestine. The digested food can now pass. The digested food can now pass in blood vessels in the wall of the intestine. After what is occurring after complete digestion, the digested foods digested complete digestion, the inner walls of the small intestine have thousands of the inner wall of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like. These are singular. By this villi in the wall of the small intestine, the inner wall of the small line growths. Now you can see here some finger-like projections. You can see here some finger-like projections. So in the wall, this is the inner wall of the small intestine. This is the inner wall of the small intestine. Okay, some are there. These are called villi. Okay, and here the digested food. Here you can see the digested food. Okay, so these digested food particles are absorbed by the villi of the intestine. These are the intestinal cells, and these finger-like particles are absorbed this villi. Okay, and now these food particles are going through these are blood vessels. These are the blood vessels attached with the small intestinal wall. So blood is taking all the food particles. Blood is taking all the food particles about the. Why this villi needed? Because villi increase the surface area for absorption of digested food. If villi is not present, so the suppose this is the inner wall, this is plain, no villi is present in this layer, so it is only 2 centimeter. But if villi is present, it increases the surface area in this area, it increases the surface area. So here the inner wall, the length of this inner wall is at least 1 meter now. So 2 centimeter will be 10. As villis are present here, the surface area of the inner wall will increase up to 1 meter. Okay, so it is increasing the surface area of food. It is increasing the surface area for absorption of food. So in case of inner lining of the intestine, villi are present. Okay, so the digested food can now pass into the blood vessels in the wall. The digested food now pass into the vessels in the wall of the intestine. The inner walls of the small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths. These are called villi, cellular villus. The villi increase the surface area for absorption of food. The villi increase the surface area for absorption of the digested food. Small blood vessels close to its surface of the villi absorb organs are taken from the intestine wall, and your body as per need they are making substance. Suppose in your body a protein needed, so from the simple substances amino acids are taken, and from the amino acids, okay, suppose protein needed for growth of your hair, protein needed for area for healing your skin, amino acids collected and they are make the protein your hair. Amino acids are arranged made that you need here. Okay, made the protein you need such as required by the body. This is called assimilation. So when it is taking in your body and it is making as per need, it is making protein, it is making proteins and it is making as per your need. This process is called assimilation. The process by absorbed food is transported to different organs. The process by which absorbed food for producing energy is called assimilation. The process by which absorbed food is transported to different organs for producing energy and growth is called assimilation. I'll give you this definition. The process food is transported to organs for producing energy and growth is called assimilation. Yes. Stay online, repeating sentence again and again so that I am this topic. Is from your side also. I am not leaving this topic. I am repeating again and again same topics. I am again repeating the process by which absorbed food is transported to different organs for producing energy and growth is called assimilation. Now, in the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water. This is called assimilation. In the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen. Glucose has been taken through the intestine. Glucose intestinally taken the glucose intestinal villi absorb the glucose, and blood vessels bloods are carrying these glucose to all parts of the body where stay connected. So in these cells, glucose break down with the help of oxygen. So that glucose has been taken by the intestinal villi. That glucose has been taken by the intestinal villi. That glucose now will use for giving energy. In the cell, glucose breakdowns with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide, water, and energy is released. Stay online. I am repeating and again. Problem is there. In the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide, water, and energy is released. Now that is energy. Digested and unabsorbed. That remains undigested and unabsorbed then enters into the large intestine. Now that digested foods are taken intestine, and bloods are carrying these digested food to the all organs and all over the body. And in the body, this oxygen, these amino acids are helpful for making new glucose breakdown occur for giving you energy. And the nutrients of the foods are used by your body. Okay, your body is using the nutrients of the food for energy and for making complex substances. Your body is using these nutrients of food for and for energy. Okay, now but which was digested and unabsorbed food? Now you have to take this unabsorbed and undigested food, the food that remains undigested and unabsorbed, then enters into the large intestine. Happening in the large intestine. The large intestine is wider and shorter. The large intestine is wider and shorter than small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length. The large intestine is wider and shorter than small intestine. It is about 1.5 meter in length. Its function is to absorb water and some salts from the undigested food material. So when undigested food material is coming in the undigested food material is coming to the large intestine, it will absorb some salts and water from the it will absorb some salts and water from the large intestine. The remaining waste passes into the rectum and as semi-solid feces, stool that makes a stool. The remaining waste passes into the rectum. The remaining waste and remains there. Solid feces. The fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. That is called egestion. Fecal matter is removed through the anus from time to time. This is called egestion. This is called egestion. So this is also a new term, egestion. The process of removal of undigested food particles from the body is called egestion. What do you mean by egestion? The process of removal undigested food particles from. Okay, so again I am repeating what is happening in all these things. Again I am repeating, students, I am repeating total digestive system. It can be a broad question. Total digestive system, what is happening here? First, food is coming from the mouth, boiled starts, partially digested mouth, no protein, no fat digestion occur in the mouth. Now the food is coming through the food pipe. The muscles of the food pipe are pushing the food into the coming into the stomach. In the stomach, giving the acidic medium and killing the germs. And next, stomach juices, digestive juices of stomach will partially digest the protein materials. Okay, next it is intestine, liver juice and pancreas juice will mix. In the liver, bile is for fat, carbohydrate, protein, fat digestion juices will mix. And in case of intestine also some juices will mix, some that will digest carbohydrate, protein. So in the intestine, complete digestion will occur. So in the intestine, complete digestion will occur in the intestinal wall. In the inner wall of the intestine, villi are present. Villi the absorbed food material, digested food material. This is called absorption. Villi are taking the digested food material. This is called absorption, and transferred to the whole part of the body. These absorbed food material are transferred to whole part of the body by the blood and there to the large intestine, and undigested food is to the large intestine. In the large intestine, water and some salts, stay online, repeating again and again, water and some salt, and in the large intestine, water and so absorbed in the large intestine. Water and some salts from the undigested food are also taking from the large intestine, and the semi-solid waste that is called fecus remain in the large intestine. This fecal matter come out from the anus. This process is called egestion. This fecal matter will come out from anus. This process is called egestion. This fecal matter will come from the anus. This process is called egestion. This is about egestion. Now I am coming another part. Digestion of animals. Digestion of animals we will do next day. This is diarrhea. What do you mean by diarrhea? Sometime you may have experienced the need to pass water frequently. Sometimes you may have experienced. For that reason you can't come to school also. Sometimes you may have experienced the need to pass watery stool frequently. This condition is known as diarrhea. It may be caused by the infection, food poisoning or indigestion. It is very common in India, particularly among children. Under severe conditions, it can be fatal. This is because of the excessive loss of water and salts from the body. Diarrhea should not be neglected. As water and salts are passing out from your body. So diarrhea should not be neglected, as water and salts are passing out from your body. So diarrhea should not be neglected. Even before a doctor is consulted, the patient should be given plenty of water, boiled and cooled water. with a pinch of salt and sugar. Boiled At first you boil the water to kill the germ and then cool the water, then take it with a pinch of salt and sugar, dissolve in it. This is called oral rehydration solution. Oral rehydration solution. Okay students, so this is all for today's class. This is all for today's class. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me. Okay, thank you students.